Hey guys, Brian here. This video is all about one of my favorite cameras on the market, and that's the Sony FX3. The FX3 is Sony's smallest cinema camera. But don't let that fool you. What Sony did with this camera is just outstanding. So whether you're a big-time cinematographer, documentarian, or solo shooter, the FX3 has you covered. The FX3 is a full-frame cinema camera, meaning it has a full-frame sensor, so the bigger the sensor, you get better low light and shallower depth of field, so more bokeh. Sony really held nothing back with this camera. You get 5-axis image stabilization in camera for smoother shots. The camera has a 3.5mm audio and headphone jack, and also comes with an XLR top handle. So you're able to input 2 XLRs straight into the camera, pretty much eliminating the need for an external recorder. Unlike most cameras, this camera has 6 1/4-inch thread holes on every side, so you can mount it any way. It also makes mounting vertically for social media quick and easy, and basically eliminates the need for a cage, which is kind of nice. The FX3 has a fully articulating screen, which is great for low angles or high angles. I also found the touchscreen easy for tracking and autofocus when you need it. The camera is equipped with a zoom rocker on the top, so if you have a PZ lens, you're able to control the zoom. It's equipped with a full-size HDMI, which is more common and a lot more durable of a port. This is important when using the HDMI to record to an external recorder or a monitor. The body is dust and moisture resistant, so you're not limited by the environment when you're filming. The most crucial buttons are on one side of the camera, so it's easy to change your settings with one hand. I have it set to easily change all the exposure settings with barely having to move my thumb. And that's another thing. You can customize it and pretty much program any button that you like. Now on to tally lights. I am a sucker for tally lights, and this camera has them everywhere. I love the large one on the back and definitely the red indicator on the screen. This screams in my face that I'm recording. This camera also has dual card slots, so you can either use SD cards or the new CF Express Type A cards, or one of each. The benefit of the new CF cards is that they are faster, so you get better shooting at higher bit rates. The FX3 also has 2 record buttons, one on the front and one on the top of the camera. This makes it easy to hit record from weird angles. Now, let's talk about one of the most important features that brings this camera to the next level, and that's the built-in fan. The fan prevents the camera from overheating, which is important for anyone shooting video. One of the worst things is when you're in the middle of a shot and your camera overheats. To me, reliability is one of the most important things, and I need to trust that my camera can perform. As for frame rates, you can record 4K up to 120 with audio and full HD up to 240 frames. Now internally, you can record up to a 10-bit 422, and if that's not enough, through HDMI you can record 16-bit RAW. The ISO range on this camera, of course, is outstanding. This is where it gets a little techie. Different color profiles will give you different ISO ranges. For example, if you shoot in S-Log3, your low base is 640 and your high base is 12,800. Yes, 12,800. You heard that right. But if you're shooting in S-Cinetone, your low base is 100 and your high base is 2000. So just remember, try to stay within these base ISO ranges. Autofocus, of course, is a game changer. You might have heard people say you shouldn't use autofocus when shooting video, but with this camera, I disagree. There's a lot of one-man band shooters, and having a good, reliable autofocus makes a world of difference. Also, good autofocus allows you to focus on different creative aspects of video, like framing, movement, and lighting. This camera has over 627 autofocus points, which covers pretty much up to 95% of the sensor. So whether you're using face, eye, object tracking, or touch tracking, focus is one less thing you have to worry about. For color profiles, you have all the standard ones you know and love from Sony, but you also have S-Log3 and S-Cinetone. With S-Log3, you get 15 stops of dynamic range, and with S-Cinetone, you get a more true to color with softer tonal look. Sony built this camera for video, but one of the many things I like about it is that you're able to take photographs with it too. I take it with me when I'm location scouting. Not only do I shoot a couple of video clips, but I also shoot stills for reference. So having a camera that does that fits into my workflow. And don't forget that stills means you can make some awesome time lapses as well. Sony makes a lot of lenses, which really opens up a world of creativity. Some of my favorite lenses they just came out with, and that's the compact G primes. So they have a 24, 2.8, 40, 2.5, and a 50 2.5. They are pretty much identical in size, which makes it great for gimbal work, so you can swap lenses without rebalancing. So, who is this camera for? I think anywhere from beginners to professionals. This camera checks a lot of boxes for many productions: cinematography, documentary, wedding, and videography. I honestly haven't found something I don't like about it, and at the end of the day, a camera is a camera. It's just a tool to get you from idea to final product. But this camera really is the best tool for most every job.